And now, a brief history of the Idolmaster. What? Maybe the name of my show should be Idols of At-Nime. All of our A's faded away into another outback of anonymity. But yeah, maybe it's because people unironically typed like this in the 2000s. It's a big multimedia franchise. It was the 9th highest selling anime franchise of 2015. Full disclosure here, I never played an Idolmaster game, but I really want to. But there's a barrier of language and a barrier of money. I know how that could be fixed. I'm sure they're fun and I love rhythm games, but they are also a raising simulation. Raising simulations are games in which the player controls one or more virtual life forms. Think of Tamagotchis or Gigapets, The Sims or Tomodachi Life. But this franchise started away from home consoles. It grew in the arcades. Unlike America, who had an arcade boom, and then it died, and now its carcass belongs to Dave & Buster's, arcades are still a big thing in Japan. There's a documentary, 100 Yen, the Japanese arcade experience, that is about this. Some of the reasons given for this was in an interview with the creator at GameRoomBlog.com. Space Invaders' popularity led the way, population density, and public transportation, which he referred to as train culture, basically sustained arcades in Japan. Another thing is the invention that allowed arcade gamers to save their progress on magnetic stripe cards, so you could come back to that arcade and play where you left off. Namco designer Akihiro Ishihara wanted to create an arcade game that used that technology. Akihiro Ishihara, often credited in games as Director 1 or Dire 1, targeted the male demographic with a game with sweet girls to befriend and help out. And it makes you feel also to compete with others to create Top Idol. This year he left Bandai Namco Entertainment. His reason was that he, quote, wants to see his ideal IP. But no worries, he worked with many other directors for the games and with a team of scenario writers. The character designs are from Toshiyuki Kubuka, not just for the game but for all the anime series and the movie as well. They worked on legendary anime like Giant Robo, Gunbuster, and Nadia's Secret of Blue Water. They also worked on a lot of the Lunar games. What systems are the games on? Android, phones, iOS, Nintendo DS, PlayStation Portable, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, your brain on drugs, a table, a Tamagotchi,
the personal computer, electrician, legal assistant, veterinary assistant, interior decorating, medical dental office.
Okay, I went to a weird place again. What about playing them right here? In America! Well, you can buy the app game now. When they first came out for iOS, it was $54.99 each game. And in the US, we pay like maybe no more than $5 for an app if we have to. But hell no. That's $170 to collect the entire set. Nope. But what luck. In the iTunes store, they're now $3.99 each. But it's because of a blowout sale. Because the service is shutting down on March 15th, 2016. So you got very little time after this episode to go up and get it. And if you're watching this episode after the 15th, sorry. Otherwise, you can import the Japanese games. What about Xenoglossia? It's not an idol anime. Sure, they try to put their characters in this seiyuu mecha fanfic of a story, and that could have been great. But it wasn't. It was bland. And when I went to anime cons and did this show as a panel, all I got was a bunch of groans and boos and jeers that came from the audience whenever Xenoglossia was mentioned. ANN's shelf life column summed it up best. Trouble is, what they came up with is so derivative that it's hard to really think of it as anything else other than generic cute girls pilot generic robots. Except these robots have hearts, so they feel things. And also the girls can use music to calibrate the robots or whatever. The silver line is that aside from the show being kind of blasé and generic and totally devoid of any substance or suspense, it's totally and completely innocuous. Meaning if your only expectation or desire from a show to whittle away an entire weekend was, gee, I wish I could watch cute girls piloting some robots, then Idolmaster Xenoglossia would fit that bill. If you want idols piloting robots, bam! if the game's doing well, why not make an anime? That's actually closer to the source material. We got the Idolmaster Live for You OVA. For non-game players, this is a nice small introduction to the Idolmaster world and a few of its characters. It's only 17 minutes and was included in the limited edition of the 360 Idolmaster game Live for You. Live for You is a story about racing against the clock when three characters, Haruka, Miki, and Chihaya, get lost far away from the concert venue. The whole thing is a comedy of errors and Murphy's Law. It starts with them oversleeping on a train, ending up in the sticks, their cab breaking down, and staying at what turns out to be a shady mansion, sneaking onto a truck, and even ending up farther away. And in the end, we learn that it's great to have rich friends with helicopters. I thought this was cute. They packed in a lot of idol show elements in a small package, including the I love fans speech. Don't know what that is? But what it didn't include was a performance. All this hype for it and no animated song and dance number? Boo. I'm glad it focused on only 3 characters rather than everyone. While some may be upset that their favorite idol didn't get much screen time, it's better to tell a story like this with fewer characters. I'm glad they chose the 3 characters with enough contrast to make it work. Although Miki is really annoying, but I do find her more interesting than Haruka. Chihaya's alright, but Haruka's like the naive, trusting, sweet one. Why is she the leader or the most popular something girl? I mean, she seems to be like the face of Idolmaster. It's the hair bows, isn't it? Hair bows, man. Hypnotizing. Overall, I think the OVA is good. The timer of how many hours to the concert added tension, and the choice of focusing on 3 characters instead of everyone made this smoother. If you watch this and like it, go check out the 2011 26 episode Idolmaster series.
A lot happened between then and the release of the 2011 anime series. There were several radio shows, and some of them are still airing. Tons of albums came out, and several manga. Also an Ace Combat crossover. If Idol Defense Force Hummingbird came out later, you know it would be them instead. These are like the Ataisha, which means painful car, of planes. In May 2009, the franchise next stage called Second Vision was announced. They said the next project would expand the Idolmaster world. For games, we had the Idolmaster SP for the PSP, the Idolmaster Daily Stars for a Nintendo DS that introduced the 876 girls, the Idolmaster Mobile, and most importantly, the Idolmaster 2 for Xbox 360 and PS3. Why most importantly? Well, it's what the 2011 anime is largely based on. Other changes were the role of Yukio. She was played by Yurika Ochiai, now Yuriko Hase, from 2005 to 2010. However, the change was because of murder threats. Around 2009, she left the Idolmaster and voice acting. The new seiyuu for Yukio is Azumi Asakura. She eventually told her side of story in 2015. Things like being told the character Yukio would be removed from the franchise if she didn't appear at events, or having anxiety and panic attacks due to this harassment. It didn't seem like her agency really supported her, as she was just removed from the role, so they wouldn't have to take responsibility for any scandal. She actively didn't choose to leave it. She says, "I think that the Yukio I played is my Yukio, and the one played by Azumin is her Yukio. After all, if I didn't think that, it would just be rude to Azumin. She's a very cute Yukio, a miraculous Yukio. However, I also hold a Yukio that I played very dear in my heart." The whole ordeal around this sounds pretty horrible, and gives insight into how horrible it is when you threaten anyone online. Also, sad glimpse into the industry. Speaking of that, I really got nothing after that, so let's just look at this montage of Haruka falling down. Oh, Haruka. I think Idolmaster, an otaku-driven show, took something from shoujo idol anime's format. In shows like Lillipre and the Pretty Rhythm franchise, there's an episode plot, and then near the end of the show, there's a song. In every episode, pretty much. Idolmaster does this, but it also becomes the ending theme. Sometimes they fit a lot of songs into just one episode. And the music, by the way, is excellent. A lot of the songs have these really catchy hooks and great arrangements. And some can be very earwormy. Yeah, earworms. They just can't get out your head. Seriously, go to the Anime News Network entry and just read the list of songs that are in here. It's long. And I may have some of them on repeat a lot lately. My neighbors hate me by now. This was animated by A1 Pictures, and the animation is awesome. TV animation can be lacking a lot of the time, but this is a beautiful show with great 2D animated dancing. In a world that usually uses CG to cut corners and help out, they actually animated the dancing. It's pretty fluid. And not just there, the entire series makes a lot of use of traditional animation. Having done traditional animation before, it takes a lot of effort. Painstaking time. My drawing hand just shudders at the thought. But that, and some really great composition in some moments, really makes you appreciate the anime in another way. And of course, not every single frame is like that. During talking scenes, it's more like your standard TV anime. But when they need to make it count, they make it count. The director, Atsushi Nishigori, who worked on Gainax and Studio Trigger shows, animated some of my favorite anime like Gurren Lagann, Penny and Stocking, Fully Cooley, or Die Buster. And also with Studio Trigger with Kill la Kill, Luluko, and Little Witch Academia. Apparently, he was a huge fan of the Idolmaster games. He wasn't the only Gainax talent working on this. Hiroyuki Imaishi did the robot sequence in episode 15. And character animator Megumi Kono worked on this. Someone did a whole video on Megumi Kono's work, specifically what she brought to Idolmaster. So go watch that. The main thing about a show like this is that it's character-driven stories. The strengths of the characters can make or break a show. We have Azusa Mira, a big sister type, a mature young woman, beautiful, and a bit ditzy. Iori Minase, rich, competitive, and childish, but has the potential to be a business-savvy threat due to being in the rich Minase family. Yukiho, a cowardly crybaby afraid of men and dogs and probably more, but is very gentle. Yayoi Takasuki, hard-working and a very cheerful type. Ami and Mami Futami, twins. Twins. Makoto Kikuchi, raised to be like a boy, but desperately wants to be seen as a girl. She is the prince of 765, whether she likes it or not. Hibiki Ganaha, a wild Okinawan girl who loves animals. Takane Shijo, the mysterious Ojo-sama. Miki Hoshi, laid back at first, but ends up being a hard worker. Chihaya Kisaragi, a private person with a past that still haunts her, but is easily the best singer in 765. And lastly, but not least, Haruka Amami, the heart of the group. Clumsy, goody-goody type. We also got Ritsuko, who instead of being an idol is a producer. Katori is the assistant in 765, and the faceless chief. And of course, the player. Or should I say, the producer.
驚いたろ彼には事前に君たちのことを知ってもらうためにカメラマンとしてドキュメンタリー
Which I just realized while writing this, does he have a name? He doesn't have a name. Well, in the games, you, the player, are the producer, and the name is decided by the player, so they went as far as keeping the producer in the anime nameless. Seriously, unless someone correct me here, because I couldn't find a name for this character at all. Now, a bad handling of a cast like this can make a Love Live into a Love Doll. The challenge is making a great show with a large cast. We get introduced to them in episode 1 in a unique way. A documentary being filmed is the framing device. When I first watched this, back in 2013, I actually thought it was boring. In retrospect, it was a good way to introduce everyone to the large cast of characters and establish changes, like Ritsuko being a rookie producer and a former idol. But this first episode was very much like a girls' talking show, as I used to call them. You know, those shows that just consist of girls talking, like Lucky Star-like shows. But man, I regret thinking that about Idolmaster. You get the feel that this is a small, somewhat struggling underdog of a production place. The show is mostly episodes that deal with a problem a character is having, like Iori not feeling grown up enough and wants to have sex appeal instead of her own unique appeal. Or Makoto's princely problem. The first half is lighter, funnier, and has an episode where Azusa is confused for being a runaway bride and Makoto fights off a Yakuza like Jackie Chan in a tux. That's probably the craziest episode in this whole series. The first longer arc in the show around Mickey regarding the first group of 765, Ryugyu Komachi. While all the idols have an episode starring them, there's 3 that gets the limelight longer. Mickey is the first. While I didn't like it, it was really well done. The setup being a half-listened to conversation due to being on a phone and a misunderstanding. But Mickey's aspirations were hinted to throughout the episodes both overtly and subtly, until the culmination in episode 11 and 12. I still hate it because Mickey is stupid, but like the producer, I feel that way because I'm not an emotional 15-year-old girl. We even get to see a cameo by 876. They're from the game Idolmaster Daily Stars that deviated from the main series by having the player be an idol. The second half is almost like a completely different show. A better show. It's less episodic and is more about how our underdog idols are now in the big time. This is also reflected in the change of the opening. The first opening, Ready, is all about wanting to debut. Look at this example of the lyrics. I believe in the things that make my dream come true. Alright, on your marks, get set, let's go. And then we get the opener for the second half. The song is Change, with lyrics that say, a sparkling stage. Whether it's events, gravure, commercials, it's starting on TV. The beginning of the story continues. The world before was almost an idealized idol world. Then the real world comes in and punches them in the face. Oh wait, did I say real world? I meant an actual cartoon villain with a maniacal laugh. Introducing 961. We got a glimpse of them earlier with the boy band Jupiter, but they became a full-on villain of 765. So the whole subplot with 961 was unnecessary and the weakest element of the show. The villain! The chief of 961 lacks the complexity of the main characters. There isn't a good reason for what they do. They just do it to be a dick. It's getting in the way of the more interesting, character-driven drama and comedy. The closest correlation in idol anime would be the schemes of Higashiyama in Kirarin Revolution. But that's a kids anime. This is a waifu bait anime. Lying to your top band about 765 being the bad guy, sure, but child endangerment in episode 16? Some standout episodes was episode 18, focusing on Ritsuko, a former idol turned producer, and then idol again when she has to fill in for Azusa. It's one of my favorite episodes of anime. And I mean anime, not just Idolmaster, but anime. Because of Ritsuko's apprehension and nostalgia for her past, and how her confidence glowed when people still remembered her. And plus it's true, you never forget your first idol. Now what if there was an anime that was just like those live-action idol variety shows? Like the entire anime is just 13 episodes of that concept. Well, episode 15 was that concept. Now the biggest standout is Chihaya's story. There was setup for this throughout the series. Chihaya's childhood tragedy was losing her brother, which actually became a scandal. Long-term mourning is shown, and the show gets that right. It can be like that when you've lost someone close to you, a feeling I and anyone who's lost a family member or a close friend can relate to. This is the most feels episode, and the song portion will make you cry. Lately, I've been watching YouTube videos about sound design, and I realize how excellent it can be when they used it in this scene. The addition of the car screech and the gasps of being triggered. I tweeted about this. I couldn't stop crying and had to stop watching a bit, but it is one of the best scenes in the show. You know that they're all friends, but after this it's clear that they are like family. Speaking of which, there's one more trial. The main protagonist, or poster child of the Idolmaster franchise, Haruka, is the one that keeps everything together. But her big fear is everyone growing apart. The holidays are extremely busy for everyone, and they can't practice together just like in the good old days. And this throws Haruka into what I can only describe as stress and depression. When the emotional core of the show is suffering, something's freaking wrong. Everyone discussed this, and yeah, they obviously say that friends can become like family, or nakama if you want to put it in Japanese terms. And the whole 25 episode series ends on what else? A big show. The best number being Ready and Change, the two songs that describe the series well, mixed together. There's also a bonus episode that came out in 2012. Episode 26 is just a where are they now, some cute vignettes. It's a lot like episode 15 in a way. The show is about the trials and tribulations they face as an idol and a person, no matter what it was, how they came back from the strife to find them as an idol. In that way, this show can be very uplifting. Despite its flaws with the 961 conflict, you watch for the characters. And damn, this can be really funny at times. And with these cute characters, I can see someone feeling very... The series is licensed and you can watch it right now on Crunchyroll. But sadly, there is no physical release. So, no Blu-rays or DVDs in America. But hey, it's streaming legally. So go watch it on Crunchyroll. It's still more available than most of the shows I talk about. In Japan, the NHK drama Ama-chan is hugely popular and focuses on 3 generations of idols from different decades as a way to tell Japan's post-war history. Baby Metal has a major record label debut, and in this Idol Sengoku Jidai, a new type of idol springs up: Loco Dolls, local idols. A subject we'll talk about when we reach the anime Loco Doll. The Idolmaster Shiny Festa OVAs was made to be with the Shiny Festa game. The games were released on October 20th for the PSP. They were called Shiny Festa Honey Sound, Shiny Festa Funky Note, and Shiny Festa Groovy Tune. In the US, they were renamed to Harmonic Score, Rhythmic Record, and Melodic Disc. I briefly mentioned them in episode 16 when I ranted about their prior price tag of $54.99. They shut down the iOS US version in March 2016, so sorry if you missed out. They were rhythm games and only focused on a handful of the 765 girls. At the start of each game, the OVA is played to introduce the game's story, and just like the games, the OVAs focus on just a handful of idols. The first OVA starts with the news of a music festival on Vacation Island. Everyone is excited, but only a few were chosen to go perform.
いや、だから全員が参加できるわけじゃないんだ。それで今回参加するメンバーは
Each OVA focuses on the idols in the game it's attached to. The one I'm talking about is with Iori, Ami, Mami, Hibiki, Best Girl, Fight Me, and Yayoi. It's mostly the Iori and Yayoi friendship magic show. Yayoi having her little siblings along thanks to Iori being the rich girl, and Yayoi is there for her when a big conflict happens for Iori. It's a silly OVA, so it's not some horrible thing, a conflict. But let's just say it's definitely big if you're in Iori's age group. Since this is the cute, kiddish OVA, you get a cutesy wootsy song to go with it. The second OVA starts with the news of a music festival on Vacation Island. Yeah, the start of each OVA is the same, so I was confused at first when I watched these and thought there was a mix-up. It's after the announcement of who's going when they all diverge. In this one, the girls are Miki, Makoto, Takane, and Shovel Knight. The second OVA is a bit more grown up with love. Everyone wants to f the manager. To try to get an idea of love, they all go on a date with the producer. But the producer is late to Mickey's part, and Mickey is Mickey and just... ugh! Well, at least it's a better idea than the ones in Koiken. This OVA is very Mickey focused, and I honestly don't like Mickey. I'm sorry, I don't like Mickey. Worst girl. Fight me. She gets pissy instead of thinking things through or listening, and everyone just falls over backwards to make it better. It gets better, and she tries to f the manager once again. Gah. Well, producer-san got about 3 or 4 years before he could legally tap that. Unless Makoto becomes her boyfriend, because Makoto should be everyone's boyfriend. We get a darker, fast-paced song with enough teen edginess for a middle school classroom of gothaboos that went to Hot Topic. Anyway, in this group dynamic, it's obvious that Mickey would have the reign of things. Each group they focus on in the Shiny Festa OVAs has an obvious leader type, like Iori in the first one, and in the third one, Ritsuko. I love Ritsuko, of course, second best girl, Fight Me, so I like this one the best. Also, seeing her go idol is always a treat. With her is Chihaya, Azusa, and Haruka. And with that lineup, you see why Ritsuko's the leader here. This OVA is mostly them and Jupiter in a pissing contest and getting inspiration from different people. Somehow that culminates in having a bit of relaxation and schoolgirl outfits. The song here reminds me of K-On! A bit. A fun rock song, plus I like seeing Jupiter interact with them. All the Shiny Festa OVAs end with everyone getting together and a music video. They're fun, and a lot like this TV series, these OVAs are a must-see if you're a fan of Idolmaster. And seeing group dynamics between different sets of characters was very interesting. Obviously, my favorite is the third I talked about, second is the first one I talk about, and my most hated is the second one. But face it, it's because I do not like Mickey. Oh god, now I'm gonna get a bunch of comments defending Mickey. In 2014, we got the biggest project. The Idolmaster movie, Kageyaki no Mukagawa E. It won several awards at the New Type Anime Awards, such as Best Director and Theme Song. It starts with...
Kagi?
What? Just... what? just a fake trailer, but part of me thinks it's a small jab at Xenoglossia for having the characters not be idols in the traditional sense, but making being idol some other thing. And I kinda wanna see Sleeping Beauty as an OVA. Although seeing the twins in pacifiers is creepy as hell, but the clip is a real Sakuga fest. We jump into seeing how everyone's doing. Nikki is going to Hollywood, Chihaya is recording in NYC, Haruka won an Idol award, and everyone's a pro now. 765 are not the underdogs anymore. They're the overdogs? And what says that more than an entire arena live with everyone? Since this is going to be a big show, they got backup dancers to train. Fledgling idols from idol schools. Total noobs. You get Haruka chosen to be the leader. And the producer is beginning a journey to become, well, a better producer. We get to see everyone go to summer camp!
Camp Wana.
We hold you in our hearts.
And when we think about you, it makes me wanna fart. It's I hope we never part. Now get it right or pay the price.
Really a training camp for the life. With the new girls, you have the story of low self-esteem when comparing yourself to more experienced people like the 765 girls. You get a bunch of scenes of the 765 girls attempting to cheer up and encourage a new idol. And when seeing this, you see how much the cast has grown.
萩原先輩って感じだね。ユキホ、実に成長しましたね。私なんかが偉そうに。穴を持ってます。
Haruka especially takes this role to the new idols because of her new role as leader. I've never thought of Haruka as a leader, but it was a natural choice. It's just that now it's official. She is like the mascot for all of Idolmaster. The camp portion of the movie has some sweet scenes and some fun. One sweet part is Kana being fangirly for Haruka. After training camp and a new goal for the live, we get a cameo from Jupiter.
前にライブ誘ってもらったのにお礼言いそびれててありがとうございました。
もう俺たちの実力を見せつけるいいチャンスだったかな。
We also get a Dearly Stars cameo in the form of posters hung around. Sorry, 876. Life goes on, but not as well.
本番までまだ時間あるんだし、みんなで一緒に頑張ればきっと大丈夫だよ。あなたが一番できてないんじゃない？え？みんなでとか一緒にとか言う前に自分のことをどうにかしなさいよ。志保。
See that girl? Fuck that girl. Kana probably wouldn't be so damn depressed because of her. And with the tabloids as well, Kana is wrecked. I understand this. I understand her feelings. I want to give up a lot too. Like all the time. It's just,
フォーメーションのこともあるし、私はできたらそのこともかなちゃんときちんと話してから決めないとって思って。今はそんなこと言ってる場合じゃないんじゃないですか？
What I love about this scene is everyone's viewpoints actually being right. While some of it was said immaturely, it's true. No one's really wrong here, but Haruka is very emotion focused. And it takes us on this path to get Kana back into being an idol. Yes, Kana has a lot in common with our beginning time as an idol, but it's cutting it close when it comes to time to get this live together. A little tension's what this movie needed, honestly. I felt it was kind of missing until this point. 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 25 seconds I cried. Like, legit tears, dudes. Just, my heartstrings got tugged hard. They really made the arena live have the feel of an actual live. This is like the best camera work and animated dancing I've seen in Idolmaster, which is already A+. Usually they go for all 2D, but the extreme long shots uses mostly CG. The thing about dance animation in Idolmaster is that every character actually dances a little bit different. Little subtleties like Yayoi being more bouncy or Iori's moves feeling more dramatic. I think they do this to make it feel like real idol shows. The CG parts had the same attitude and differences, but I think they seem too soft. It's in the extreme long shots anyway, so not much detail is needed. The song is called Masterpiece, the perfect song to top things off. This movie's script is well crafted. It's hard to balance a cast this large and give time for the new cast and have a lot of plot elements. It used the right characters when they needed to, timed each conflict well, and showed character developments. It feels like a long episode. It seems like an insult, but I mean it as a compliment. The TV show still has some of the best dance animation and great framing, use of camera angles, and dynamic moments in the idol genre. For the shiny Festa OVAs and the movie, some of the staff behind the show came back. The biggest name, of course, is Atsushi Nishigori, the director, screenplay writer, storyboard, unit director, character designer, chief animation director, key animator, make awesome Japan pants. He is a legend in my eyes, having worked on great Gainax anime like Gurren Lagann, Fooly Cooly, and Panty and Stocking. Also Studio Trigger stuff like Space Patrol Luluko and Kill la Kill. They're one of my favorite people working in the medium. He was the director, and he wrote the screenplay for the Idolmaster movie with Tatsuya Takahashi, who wrote 6 episodes of the original TV series. The studio behind Idolmaster is A1 Pictures, who also animated the Udapri franchise and their original idol anime, B Project. The Idolmaster movie Kageyaki no Mukagawa-e, aka the Idolmaster movie Beyond the Brilliant Future, is a great celebration of all that is Idolmaster. Since this is the last animated project for 765 Namco Pro, it felt like a goodbye and had small closures here and there. Also, the new idols who were the backup dancers are from the Idolmaster Million Live. It's an app game that has 765 Pro idols and 37 new idols. Speaking of which, Million Live has animated shorts of their own where you can see all the idols interact with each other, and it shows off the new idols. Why isn't this a TV series? Think about it. We can follow a new story with new characters and with a new setting with the 765 Live Theater. Basically 765 gone AKB48. There's a lot you can do with that, and it has its own challenges. And the old and the new characters can share that. Plus, it would be a great continuation of the character building of the Million Live girls used in the Idolmaster movie. Please, Japan, make this a TV series instead of just a social media app game shit. I want a Million Live show. By the way, thank you for the Side M anime. I was yelling about that a few episodes back. To celebrate the 4th anniversary of Million Live, they released another, longer animated short. And soon there will be a new game, the Idolmaster Million Live Theater Days. The Idolmaster movie is a good ending, but Million Live could be a new beginning. Or everyone just splits off into an alternate universe where everyone has a chibi version of themselves running amok. There's more Idolmaster to spare with Puchimas. Puchimas, Petite Idolmaster, is an ONA series, which means original net animation, based on a 4-panel manga that ran in Dengeki Mao. There's 2 seasons, one with over 60 episodes and the other with over 70 episodes. It seems like a lot, but each episode's only 2 minutes or so. It was streamed on Animate TV and Nico Nico. There was also some Puchimas OVAs bundled in the magazine. Puchimas is if you took all the traits of the Idolmaster girls and ramped it up to 100 and chibi-fied them into partially verbal moe blobs. They're called Puchi idols with cute names like Chiya, Afu, Pio Pio, and Haruka-san. It's a silly show where the producer is a pea, and Haruka owns a gremlin that multiplies when it touches water, or they all become half animal in the spring. It's weird. Funimation put a bunch of episodes up on YouTube, so check it out. You could also watch them on Funimation.com. The link is in the description. Also, the endings are cute songs sung by a handful of the idols. In the future, I will cover Cinderella Girls, an idol anime with a different take than the original. Also in the franchise, Side M. Side M was a game like Cinderella Girls and Million Live, and it's been announced they're getting a series! As for other media that came out around this time in Idolmaster, there's the manga attached to the movie, the Idolmaster movie Kageyake no Mukawa e Signs, that was set between the TV show and movie. There's also a Million Live manga, and of course tons of albums and games. The Idolmaster Platinum Stars is on the PS4, All for One for PS3, and the Idolmaster Must Songs for Vita. And we can't forget the several live Idolmaster concerts that happened. They're performed by the seiyuu: Eriko Nakamura as Haruka and Mami, Akiko Hasegawa as Miki Hoshi, Asami Imai as Chihaya Kisaragi, Asami Shimoda as Ami Futami and Mami Futami, Azumi Asakura as Yukiko Hagiwara, Chiaki Takahashi as Azusa Mira, Hiromi Hirata as Makoto Kikuchi, Manami Numakura as Hibiki Ganaha, Mayako Nigo as Yayoi Takasuki, Naomi Wakabayashi as Ritsuko Akizuki, Rie Kugimiya as Iori Minase, and Yumi Hara as Takane Shijo. Seiyuu as idols and idols as seiyuu has been happening since the beginning, and you just don't get tired of it. The Idolmaster Masters of Idol World 2015 had all the seiyuu from all the IMAS stuff, including Million Live. I need this concert DVD. I need it. A lot came out in 2015 since that was the year of the franchise's 10th anniversary, and there's still more Idolmaster projects in the works. The Idolmaster movie isn't legally available in America. The Shiny Festa OVAs were, since they came with the games and those were released in the US, but now that you can't get the games, I guess the Shiny Festa OVA is not legally available anymore. Puchmas is legally available, as I talked about, on Funimation's site or YouTube, and DVD, because, you know, the world is cruel and we can't get the movie on a nice Blu-ray set or anything, or even the TV series on a nice Blu-ray. Why do you do this to us? Why? I want answers. I want this in my collection by noon. I want a limited edition that comes with some sort of art book. I want angels from heaven to bring this to my house. It's called Amazon Angel Delivery. It's something they're trying out. Idolmaster is a franchise I see lasting a long time. It will have new incarnations like Cinderella Girls and Side M, but well after this idol trend in anime has passed, Idolmaster will remain. Idolmaster forever.